Order the March 4th committee meeting of the Alcohol Licensing Advisory Committee. Could we have roll call, please?
Bruner,
Here.
Bumpus,
Here.
Henry, Marshak,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Sickish,
Here.
Bruns. Here. Sorry.
All right, it looks like we have 6 present. We do have a quorum. The approval of minutes. Are there any questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll,
I'll move to approve. Second.
motion by Bruner, second by Bumpus. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Requests and comments from the public regarding items on the agenda not requiring a public hearing. We did have a written comment that we were all presented this morning, yes? Are there any?
Got a written comment that came in via email. Would you like me to read it?
That the one you gave us?
Out from Eric Long, yes.
Do we need her to read it? Is it good? We're
Good.
good, thank you. Is there anyone else in chambers? Hello.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Paula Carlson. I am an owner of American Bell Clothing in downtown Janesville. We are in the 200 block of West Milwaukee Street. I am one of 4 boutique businesses that are all in alignment. I ask that you guys, obviously, you know why we're here. We're here for Wine Walk. I need you guys to understand how important Wine Walk is to each and every one of us as a retailer. I had a boutique out in Big Box Land, out off of Highway 26. Then we moved downtown. Downtown is the community that our store needs to be in. We need to have people come into our store. My daily customer out in Big Box Land was significantly larger than what I have downtown Janesville. I will fully admit that. But the community is downtown. That is the customer base that I want and I need, okay? When we do Wine Walk as retailers, that is our day to shine to 600 people. In order for me to get 600 people in the door of our West Milwaukee location, it would take 2 months. Wine Walk does that for us in 5 hours. So when you are thinking about Wine Walk and how it impacts, please think of each one of us that are sitting here that have given our livelihood, our savings, everything we have to our businesses, and how 600 people affects us twice a year, okay? I just ask you to have some grace with us when it comes to Wine Walk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joan Nino. I'm a past president of DJI and also a local downtown business. I have a restaurant and a retail store. I've been involved with the Wine Walk personally for about 4 years on their committee. I'm very proud of how we've grown this event. We've never really had any incidents whether we had to call the police, or I would assume there are no concerns, I hope, from the police on this issue. Thank you. It really is the one thing that DJI does. We do many things for the downtown. We bring a lot of people in, but this is the one thing where we can track how much impact we have on the small local businesses. We bring them into the stores. A lot of times I see people who have never come in before. They're new to town. We get a lot of outer-towners who experience the downtown and really are impressed with what a great group of shops and what a lovely downtown we have. So I urge you to continue your support of the Wine Walk. It truly is an outstanding event for downtown Janesville. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Macy Ryan. My husband Ben is with Ryan Incorporated Central, which has been a family-owned business here in Janesville since the 1800s. I'm not from here, I'm from Texas. He recruited me to live here, so I left the mild winters of Texasing and moved up to Janesville, which at first was very, very hard, but I finally acclimated. But all that to say, I've lived here since 2016, before Lark was even open, before a lot of these businesses were open downtown. And so moving from Austin to Janesville, as you can imagine, Austin has a thriving downtown and Janesville didn't, but now we do. And watching how downtown has grown and how it's thriving has just been amazing and such an inspiration. And it's really, downtown's the heart of the community. And we have events like Wine Walk to thank for it. DJI has had such a huge role, as have all the independent business owners who have basically pioneered, been our pioneers to come downtown in some of these dark storefronts and take a risk and open a business. And I think you'll find if you go downtown, they're beautifully curated, they're very creative. Everyone takes a lot of pride in their work. We have such a wonderful thing going. And I think Wine Walk is a really big part of that. I have attended the event multiple times. This will be the first time this year that I'm working the event. I just joined the DJI board. I've also, my husband and I are very involved in downtown revitalization. We do a lot of volunteering, anywhere from Janesville Performing Arts Center to, I was on the board of the Children's Museum, and have been a chair of the Cornerstone Fundraising Committee for the Capital Campaign. So thank you very much for the city's help with that project, because we're very excited. So all told, every little piece of this puzzle is helping downtown grow, thrive, and be just such a great asset for our community. And I can say as a past attendee of Wine Walk, there's not a classier event. Such a great time for mostly women, but we love men too. To get together and walk the streets of Janesville. It's so great to see everybody together with their girlfriends, their families, their partners, their husbands, and going into these stores. And I can personally attest that I shop more during that day. And I see so many customers in the stores. And I know there are some retailers who are not here, like Velvet and Toll, who I've spoken with before, on what a huge impact Wine Walk has on their business. So I know that's true, and I know it's an important event. And I know more events like this are going to be important in our future. So thank you very much for all of your time and consideration.
Thank you. My name is Becca Freed. I own Mood, which is a stationery and gift shop. I opened on Wine Walk in October of 2023. So this shop is a dream of mine I've had since I was a teenager. And that opening day, I remember, we were on Friday night, quick getting all the inventory up, and opened the doors on Saturday morning, and no one walked in. And we went, uh-oh, what's this? And then throughout that day, because it was Wine Walk, we had 500 plus people through. And it really, I believe, got me going to be known downtown. In January, I moved to 105 West Milwaukee Street, and it's been a little challenging to get people to know that I have moved. So I'm really looking forward to Spring Wine Walk to, again, like Paula said, get those 500-600 people through so that we can continue to thrive as a shopping district in this downtown. Thank you.
Morning, my name is Nicodemus, and I do not have a brick and mortar office downtown, but I am the photographer behind Full Spectrum Photography, and I do a vast majority of my work in the downtown area. And I have photographed the Wine Walk for several of the events over the last few years. And many of you know and have seen my work, but what a lot of you don't know is on the weekends when I don't have photography work, I also drive for Uber out in Madison on Friday and Saturday nights, sometimes during Badger games and what have you, and I've done about 12,000 rides out there over the last 7 or 8 years. So I believe I've got a pretty good idea of what the spectrum is when it comes to alcohol-fueled events, and having spent many weekends as what feels like the only sober person in the city, I can tell you that the experience where people are making bad choices in high concentrations is a dreadful experience to be in when you're the only sober person around. And by extreme contrast, my experience with these wine walks is I spend that full 4 or 5 hours walking up and down Milwaukee Street, up and down Main Street, and then up and down Milwaukee Street and back again and again. Popping into every single one of the businesses represented here and more, there is a vibrance, there is an excitement, an enthusiasm to be there. There are people who are really looking forward to the deals they experience, the little tchotchkes and baubles that they get at each of the different stores, the amount that they weigh themselves down with shopping items, with flashy rings and goofy glasses and what have you, creates a unique excitement to the downtown area that, quite frankly, we only see twice a year. If you've seen the photographs that I've taken of the event, you'll notice first and foremost that Milwaukee Street and Main Street both have packed sidewalks and packed businesses. And there's only one other event that happens annually in downtown Janesville that draws that kind of crowd, to be the Grand Prix, which is also a phenomenal event. But I can also tell you, having photographed that event, that the people on the streets don't necessarily translate to people in the stores like this event does. And you've heard testimonies from some of these folks here that these two events in the spring and the fall are a big drivers for their business. But one of the things that I do after I'm done photographing these events is I go back and I visit many of these retailers and show them the photos that I took of their spaces so that they can have them for their own marketing purposes in promoting this event and others moving forward. And then I ask them, partly for my own curiosity, like, how was this experience for you? Did you have any troubles? Was there good experiences, bad experiences? And categorically, everybody's response has been positive. And there's some relief to it too, on the other side of it, because they've met goals that they needed to survive. And so as some of these folks have testified, I had one person in particular who said, if it wasn't for this event, I would not have been able to front load my inventory, and I would have had to close. We've already lost this last year 2 more downtown retailers. Freight Edges just closed their doors, and Adorn had to close, I believe, at the beginning of this last year. And I know that without an event like this, downtown would likely be a lot more vacant. Like Macy, I moved here about 10 years ago from the opposite direction, the actual largest state in the Union, Alaska. Apologies. My family grew up here. I'm half Manser and half Nimmo, and my family is from here, and I missed out on the whole GM phenomenon and got here kind of right as things were changing, and the downtown was looking for catalysts to revitalize itself. And as a photographer, my mission for here, because this is my parents' home and it's become mine, is to show Janesville in a positive light to people who have been there their entire lives and have gotten used to seeing Janesville in a certain way. And so if I can change Janesville's perspective for the better about the place that they live and work, it's a win for me. And photographing these events and showing these events in a positive light, and showing some of the cave people, which is, many of you know, is an acronym. Many of whom I'm sure you get in here complaining about one thing or another that you've done. If I can show those people that their downtown is worthwhile and there are really cool things to come and do and places to shop and restaurants to visit, that's a huge win for me. And this event is huge for showcasing to people that their space is worth visiting. So I would ask you to reconsider whatever choices you're planning on making here, and to keep this event going.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jen Kingsbury. I'm the GM of Bodacious Shops downtown. What I can tell you is that in the almost 2 years that I've been running Bodacious shops, I've seen nothing but growth down there. And it is because of events like the Wine Walk. I first started in October, and Wine Walk was the very first event that I was part of, and seeing the amount of people come in that door was beyond impactful. The whole mission with Bodacious is to create wonderful experiences, not only in our shops, but in the downtowns that we're in. And Wine Walk helps us do just that. I can also tell you that it has been at the very top of our sales days for the entire year. Second only last year to the Art Infusion, which that was just a bit ahead of that. So Wine Walk absolutely helps us with our business and our, our budgets, all of those things. And what I can tell you too is that we have had no poor experiences there. Every customer that comes through is so kind. They chat with us, we get to know them a little bit. Of course, they're shopping in our stores as well, but we've never had any sort of issue of any kind related to alcohol. So thank you for any further consideration on this matter, and it's just it's a wonderful time for us. So thank you.
Is there anyone else wanting to speak?
My name's Jackie Gorel, and I've actually lived here my entire life. I'm representing the Hodgepodge Place, which has 13 different businesses in it. I actually do nails downtown and have for 20 years now. I don't even take anybody new, but I actually reinstated my license because of the Wine Walk for bartending, because we were always having such a hard time finding a bartender. And trying to pull in for the new businesses, the Wine Walk is huge for them. I want them to be as successful as I have in the 20 years. So it is very, very important for other businesses, including all these, but also the 13 in the Hodgepodge Place that people have no idea is there. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wishing to speak? All right. We will move on to licenses. Public hearing and expansion of licensed premise for Franklin Street Tavern, doing business as Franklin Street Tavern, 13 North Franklin Street, to include the outdoor cafe. I would like to first open the public hearing. If anybody would like to speak in regards to this entity, please come forward. Going once, twice. I will close the public hearing. Do we need to do another motion?
Why is this we did this last month?
I missed a public hearing. We had to actually physically have a public hearing, and that was missed. So we just did the public hearing.
Okay.
Would we need
Got me all
to
confused.
revote? I would make a motion to approve Franklin Street Tavern and the outdoor cafe as noted.
Second?
Motion by Miller, second by Bumpus. Any further questions, comments? Do you want to do a voice vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. 5B, operator's license appeal for Tiffany Grzybowski. I'm sorry if I butchered the name.
Hello,
Good morning.
it's Grabowski, like an A.
Oh, Grabowski.
Yeah.
Got it.
I currently work at J-Town Spirits on Center. Part of my job is to get my license. And so when I filled out
my application, I was in a little bit of a hurry because I'm currently in the process of getting custody of my autistic nephew, and I had to get him off the bus. So I'm asking to reconsider my application because as I was in a hurry, I just simply misread one of the questions.
Okay. Deputy Chief Rasloff, would you want to
The only
key
thing
into
is that,
this?
Just failure to disclose a pending case that was indicated in CCAP.
So it was 3K, correct? That was missed?
Yeah,
The,
the pending.
Any crime or ordinance violation not listed other than traffic or parking. I guess when I think about the possibility of the appeal, you just had court in January. That was an appearance that was required, and then you forgot that it was pending for an
Right,
April
so-
jury trial. I have a tough time, that's a tough sell.
Well, no, I didn't forget that I had a pending case. I read the question incorrectly. So I thought it said, do I have any convictions? Which I have not been convicted yet because it's still ongoing.
Okay. But you didn't disclose the current active case?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not denying that I have a current case. I just was in a hurry and misread the question.
It's a bad defense when are you gonna be in a hurry checking my ID when I go into the store?
Right.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I've passed my, I don't know what you guys call it here, but responsible vendor, classes. I was,
We understand. We truly do understand, but it's just a very, very bad defense. I'm in a hurry. You had
I
a
mean-
long time to come up with something better than that.
I
Chief,
could try and come up with something, but it's the truth. I was,
would she
beating the
have passed,
bus.
would she have passed if she would have written this?
Yeah, I think so, because it's pending. There's no conviction yet. So.
and I believe if you actually look at the, thing you guys sent me, it says approved, and then it's scratched out.
Well, when I look at the question that's in question, within the past 5 years, have you been arrested for or forfeited a bond for any of the following? And you still said no.
Right, I mean, I haven't forfeited a bond because, it's-
Right,
But
but
you
you've
were
been
arrested.
arrested for
And-
a felony,
so technically I've not
Case.
been arrested.
oh my
I've just been
gosh.
charged. I'm from Alabama, so I'm not.
Okay.
I don't see how y'all,
So
Kinda
if you have had to go to court, you've been arrested.
okay. See, in Alabama, if you're arrested, you're arrested. You know, they take you in handcuffs to the jail,
Got it.
you are arrested. And in Alabama, I had responsible vendor. I worked at a liquor store for 2 years before moving up here. I actually quit my job down there to come up here for my nephew. So some of the terminology that you guys use is not what we use down there, so to speak.
I'm inclined to doubt that this was a mistake, being that it was posted twice on the application. Being in a rush is not a good reason to misstate or forget a pending case that you had just appeared before 2 weeks prior.
Right.
And that's a tough sell.
I didn't forget. I have no problem or whatever you call it, disclosing anything about myself. I work at a liquor store. I do my job. And I've actually shown the owners a couple things to where I think that they should be the ones in question.
This is your only form of income?
Yes,
And you are the sole custodial or whatever you want to call it of
temporary
your
guardian, yes,
temporary guardian of your nephew?
yes. I mean, he does get SSI, but that's his money.
I do think it was a mistake because you don't understand. And I do feel for your situation. I guess we have given breaks for things that she would have received this license if she would have discarded the information. So I would be inclined to make a motion to approve passing, unless we have other questions.
We've also gone the other way and set a precedence the other way and had them come back 6 months later because they misread or didn't understand the Form 2 of her home life versus the obligation of filling out the form correctly should not be taken into account. Because if she didn't have those, that home life issue, would you have felt the same way?
Yeah, I truly don't think she,
Flat out, and your first comments were, are you gonna be in a rush when you card people? You know, that whole thing, I misread it, or I read the expiration date instead of the whatever date. And last month's compliance checks, or last week's compliance checks, showed that for stores like hers, 50% of the people failed because they didn't read the instructions.
My store passed.
I'm just saying.
I understand.
We know that this is a fact. So I'm inclined to say,
I would second the motion to approve. It's unfortunate because I think we have set precedent both directions, and that's tough. But for us to judge whether somebody truly made a mistake or not, sometimes we believe them, sometimes we don't. That's a tough place to be in. So I would second the motion to approve.
Motion by Sikich, second by Marshak, to approve the appeal. Any further discussion?
I got nothing.
Seeing none. Do you want a voice vote? We have to go individually. We'll have to go individually.
Roll call vote.
Bruner? Bumpus?
no,
Henry? Or Marshak?
Yes.
Miller?
No.
Sickish?
yes,
We passed 4-2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
why do we have that question on the application?
Application for a temporary Class B license for Downtown Janesville, Inc. regarding the May Wine Walk on May 17th, 2025. Hello.
Elena Shiefsky, 2214 Cherokee Road, Janesville, Wisconsin.
So I think we're all pretty familiar with the wine walk. This is set twice a year, correct? So this will be the spring wine walk. I think the biggest concern that we've had in the past is the drink it or dump it. And it was very blatantly obvious that that was not happening. And we had mentioned that repeatedly, that it needed to be done per state law.
Correct. So just to kind of go back, in the fall when I was here for the last ALAC. We were informed, because in previous years, we had followed the city ordinance, which did allow alcohol to be carried from location to location, and that this event has gone on now for, gosh, I think almost 10 years, 9
Lot
years?
of years.
Yeah, I was like, how many years? 9 years. So this past fall, coming to ALAC, it was brought to our attention that we needed to essentially follow the state ordinance, which does not allow that to happen. So we had taken steps to inform the stops, the businesses, that we needed to have signage posted within their business at the exit stating no alcohol beyond this point, that we had buckets present for people to be dumping their alcohol. This past fall, we had photographs that were put on Facebook. That was my mistake because I did not look closely enough at the fact that there was alcohol still being consumed on the sidewalk. So I immediately took those down, and I actually called Lori Stotler, the city clerk, and acknowledged that mistake. I think that this is going to take a little bit of practice and enforcement on our part, as well as the businesses. So being more vocal, you know, when they come in, when they get their wine, you need to consume this before it goes outside. We could have more signage that is put outside as well, just to, again, remind people if they kind of step out and are like, oh, you know. But as you have heard, that these events are incredibly important to people's businesses downtown, and we would like to continue to see them thrive and support our businesses. And as Downtown Janesville, Inc., being the host of the event, we will definitely continue to do our part with making sure that people are following the rules. Please understand it is challenging to police that many people that are moving amongst downtown, and we want to make sure that people are having a positive experience. They're not feeling hassled, but of course we want people to continue to follow the rules. So in addition to all of the things that we already do, like ID checks, wristbands, the clear cups, and now with these additional things that we have put in place within the businesses, we will continue to enforce the state ordinance and remind people consistently as they come in, as we do have a lot of people that come to these events that are repeat people. So we want to instill it in their brains that this is the new way of doing things compared to how we have done it in years.
I think we definitely all understand trying to control the masses is not an easy task. And certainly understanding how it impacts the businesses, I think that's a given. So.
Right. And I mean, in those circumstances, you know, some of these businesses aren't very big. So you get people that get in there and they get congested and they just want to get back out quick, you know, and obviously the goal is we want them to stay, we want them to enjoy themselves, to shop, and a lot of times the businesses will provide food on their own dime. They will do activities or giveaways and things like that to keep people within the business, because you don't want them just coming, taking their cup and leaving. The goal is that we want them to be enjoying themselves. But sometimes, just depending on how people's flow of traffic is, you may have a business where suddenly they have an influx of 30 to 40 people and it can feel very congested. And frankly, the business owners have limited staff. They have people that are trying to help the customers, trying to check people out, also trying to make sure that people aren't getting out the door, you know, with their glass. So it's a lot of moving parts.
Just real quick, thank you to everybody for downtown. It's ironic, we just celebrated the 10th anniversary of Arise now, which is crazy. That's been 10 years, but obviously I might be a little biased. I was with the DJI before it was DJI, it was DDA, but this is a great event, and without DJI and these events, Arise wouldn't have been as successful as it is. That's truly a statement. And also all of you individual people that took the risk to open a business in downtown, thank you. So just to clarify, the fall was the first time that the rules, they didn't change, but we enforced the state, right?
Correct, yes.
And it's not like we had drunken sailors in traffic or anything, right? It was just, there was a few missteps. So unfortunately, that's the rules we have to follow now. So if you can keep an eye on that, that would be great. But thank everybody for everything that you've done.
my feeling on this is I was taught years ago that the word try is impending failure. We will do better. We will strive to do better. And I would hope that even in your tiny stores, there's more than one person there, one of which should be at the door. Literally. Okay? And to stop that. The people walking down the street, I saw the photos, people seem to be very happy. And if someone stops at every one of those stores and gets 2 ounces of whatever, that's a whole bottle of wine. So just strive to do better, not try.
Anything further from the committee?
I guess I have one question. A lady said she got her bartending license, what have you. Is there, I don't even know if there, I mean, I know there should be, and at every other event, you have to have a licensed bartender to hand out wine. Is there a licensed bartender at every store?
Yes. And they apply and I send them the application. So it's up to them if they would like to just do the temporary or if they want to get like the full one so they don't have to repeat it. So that is a part of
One at the door.
Huh?
They should be the one at the door.
Have to be serving.
They have to
so.
serve it.
And also that's part of it too, even like strategically where we have the serving, oftentimes the businesses will do it towards the back of the store to make it harder and longer to take for them to get out. Because if we had them pouring at the front, they would be in and out and nobody would be shopping and you would potentially see the alcohol. Otherwise, people frankly will be slamming their drinks to get out the door, which we don't want either, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Sikich, second by Marshak. Anything further, gentlemen?
Nope.
Nope. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, this motion passes unanimously.
Just a quick question, not for you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. So we brought this back because of the issues in the fall. Does it need to continue to come back if there's no significant changes? Okay.
One thing, if I can just interject, is the cups that we use for wine walk they are carried from store to store. So as photographs are being taken, if you do see one that you see a glass, just please know it could very well be empty. You know, just like the same glass is carried from store to store. As you photograph a group of ladies and they are holding a glass, just please be mindful that that glass very well could be empty, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I thought
I think.
thought they had to dump it, leave the cup behind when they left the store.
Not the cup, no. I know that the photos that we're talking about did have wine in it, and that's what we're talking about. Sure.
Keep that in mind, if you do see photos with glasses, they very well could be empty.
Oh, sure,
We're
sure.
going to do.
Serve clear wine.
All right, staff reports. Janesville Police Department, you are up.
As you know, we did the compliance check. We had a few failures on that. Those individuals were cited. We'll continue to do additional compliance checks. Those stores will be repeated until we get compliance with additional citations to follow if they're not compliant. If you look at your main report, you'll notice that these aren't on there. That report was printed on the 26th. These reports for the violations were done the night of the 26th. So they're not on there. They'll probably be on the next one. And then all the other ordinance violations and things listed on there have all been checked. And again, we're getting compliance from bartenders calling when they need to call, doing those types of things. Even if it's not related to the bar, just things happening outside, things in the parking lot, they're calling us. So we're getting compliance that way.
Excellent.
Can I comment on, have a comment for the deputy chief? Last week, the state alcohol licensing people through the state were issued an application for $3,500 towards alcohol compliance checks. Janesville mobilizing for, and it had to be in by the 7th. So Janesville Mobilizing for Change is going to apply for one of those. And if they get that, then they'll help be able to mitigate some of the costs involved.
Nice.
I really want to congratulate the deputy chief and the chief for going ahead so much more frequently with these compliance checks, because you can see the failure rate is huge. In the summertime coming on, and the young kids doing what I did when I was a
Frequenting.
kid.
Sure.
I'll admit it. So maybe just, if the powers to be, that grant, there's a lot of people vying for that. $3,500 to a really small community is a huge amount, so we may not get it. But that is out there in the offing.
Excellent. Good to know.
Yeah, it is good to see the more frequent checks, and hopefully that will just help drive compliance as people say, oh shoot, they're coming around all the time now. So
Yep.
thank you for doing
Then
that.
whatever the Mrs. Stotler and,
Mhm.
well, about going against the business.
The
too,
business,
about setting
yeah.
an ordinance.
Yep,
If that
that'll
can-
help too.
If that can forward.
For sure.
So that being said, we are beginning the process of putting what I think Lori Stotler had said is some teeth behind our ordinance. And we're looking at some of those changes coming in the weeks ahead.
Good.
So. Anything further? Okay. City clerk's alcohol license quota report. Any changes, updates? Temporary licenses? All right.
Next month's meeting.
Discussion and possible action on the April meeting date. Being that the first is on Election Day. Is there a recommendation from the clerk's office?
Given that the spring election's on April 1st, we would prefer to move the ALAC meeting to Tuesday, April 8th at 8 a.m. The next council meeting isn't until April 14th, so I'd give time to push it out a week. If that doesn't work, our second option would be Thursday, April 3rd.
Does Tuesday, April 8th sound okay with everyone? Tuesday, April 8th? Do you want us to change it? Do you want us to?
I can probably. No, I won't be here. April 7th is the
Oh.
last council meeting.
Oh!
Or no, April, when's the first council meeting in April?
14th.
14th.
You
Oh,
will be here.
so I will still be here.
That's Dave's last meeting.
Um,
He has to be here.
I don't have to.
Yes, you do.
April 8th.
April 8th, Tuesday, April 8th. If there's no problem, we can move it to April 8th. Do you need a motion or a?
I wouldn't think so, but.
Not.
Walt says maybe. I would make a motion to move the April Alcohol License Advisory Committee meeting to Tuesday, April 8th, based on Election Day.
Second.
Motion by Miller, second by Marshik. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. We will see you Tuesday, April 8th.
Got 8% left. We could have gone all day.
Oh, okay.
Need to adjourn.
Second by Bumpus. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All, any opposed? Seeing none, we are adjourned. See you, Dave.
My last meeting also.